yeah, movies. What's going on, guys? Bobo here with BrassReel Brothers. Thanks for coming back for another episode of BrassReel Tonight, where we talk about everything coming out to the big screen, everything coming out at home to stream, and all the shenanigans going on behind the scenes. And joining me for today on Tuesday, I got my boy Ez Maniac again. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. I've just seen the thumbnail to what we're going to be talking about tonight. Quite tragic, one of the stories there.
Yeah, man, you know, getting right into it right there. That is some terrible news. We lost a great actor today. I found out as soon as I woke up. Michael K. Williams, mostly known from The Wire, is for a lot of people. And then the one that you were saying earlier that you liked him from was it Boardwalk Empire that you were, because he's in so many things, but that's what you were really into him for, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed his character and his acting performance in that TV series. I just think, what a tragedy. What a waste.
Man, yeah, you ain't lying, dude. Just at 54 too. I mean, that's, you know, ironically, and not trying to, I swear, my father passed away a long time ago. So, but it's weird. He died at 54 as well. And it's just like when you were a little kid, when you're real young, 54, you know, that seems like, oh, that's so old. You know, it's like an old man, but like, it's not. 54 is extremely young. And it's terrible that it was a drug overdose. I mean, they didn't say what drugs, but they definitely have said it's a drug overdose. And, you know, I couldn't help but think immediately, and not trying to overshadow Michael K. Williams by any means. But when you hear about these things, it's similar to me as that Philip C. Hoffman deal. Like you just didn't expect it.
Yeah, exactly what I was feeling. Because if it is, you know, what they suspect it is, you just don't imagine them doing that, because you imagine them being successful and they're not, you know, they would make the right choices. But everybody, it doesn't matter if you've got money or not, is suffering with something, whether it be drink, you know, drugs. And yeah, it's a tragedy.
Well, and also the way he handled himself in public, he was so collected. He seemed very educated, just like Philip Seymour, you know? And so it's one of those things that you're like, what? It's not even, you know, when certain rock stars die, you're like, you know, I kind of saw that coming. It sucks. It's terrible, but nothing with this. You're just like, whoa. I mean, I feel like, I mean, and again, this is an actor that was hot on the scale. So he was probably in the middle of projects.
Yeah, you know, it just shows how good of a performer he is, just like Philip Seymour Hoffman, as in, like, you believe that they've got a good life behind that, you know. And like I was saying before, he was probably suffering with something for him to be needing to take drugs. So
yeah, battling with some demons.
Yeah.
You know, they and you mentioned this just a second ago, but I can't remember who it was I had talked to, but it was somebody that was involved somehow or another in the industry. And I don't know if it was necessarily in film, or maybe they were involved in like the production side of music or something like that. But we were talking about people, and you know what it was? It was when Lane Staley died. And do you know who Alice in Chains are? Do you guys familiar with them over there?
I've heard of them, but I don't know a lot about them.
Well, when Lane Staley died, and Alice in Chains, they're a huge deal for me. They're in like my top 10, not my top 5 or anything, but my top 10. They're just the songwriting, the original, all that stuff. But all of his stuff was about heroin or drugs. You could hear it in the writing. You could hear it in the lyrical content. He was sort of a public professed like addict, and was just in that 90s grungy vibe of Kurt Cobain, Stone Temple Pilots, all that stuff. And, you know, when he died, we were all kind of like, you know, I kind of saw that coming, and it sucks, but I'm not surprised. And then my buddy Eddie Mapp that was talking to me, who was in the production side of music, he was like, look, man, when you're in Hollywood or you're in the music industry and you're famous, he's like, you do something. Now, some people find it easier to work really hard and just dive into creations and collaborate, or some people get really lavish with their money. He's like, but it becomes such a lifestyle that's so hectic and crazy, you're almost forced to find a release. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I can imagine that. And what was his most recent projects? I've not looked into that. I only knew him really from Boardwalk Empire. Was he in Luke Cage as well?
You know, I didn't watch enough of that to know. It just didn't interest me like I wanted it to. I know that the thing that I recognized him the most for, and obviously The Wire. I think everybody, if you're into The Wire or you watch that show, you remember his character on there. But I think when I saw him on 12 Years a Slave with Chadwick Boseman, that was just, I mean, I thought his performance was equally as good.
Yeah, yeah. It's in some scenes he would steal the show in Boardwalk Empire. I completely remember him. Like he's got a big scar. Has he got a scar on his face?
Straight down the middle of his face, man. Like right, you can see it going. That angle doesn't show it quite properly, like you could see it. But yeah, I mean
it's just memorable. But like it didn't take any away from the performance or anything. I thought it was actually a prosthetic. I thought it was part of his character.
You know, it's funny. Until I saw him in other movies, the first time I saw him, I thought it was part of the character. I didn't think it was. There's another guy, and I can't remember his name quite off the top of my head, but he's in a lot of, like, he's in Braveheart and he's in a lot of movies, but he's got like
another one.
An interesting scar down here. And the first time you see him, you're like, oh, I wonder if that's for the character. And then you see him later on, you're like, oh no, that guy's got and that's cool. I think that it's really I think it's great that Hollywood allows people to have jobs that, even though they have a facial, and I don't want to say it's nothing's wrong with it, but if it's a scar, you know, it's an act, something happened. And they're not genuinely inclined to hire defective type things like that. And
so I think it's Jean-Claude Van Damme, with a bump on his head,
the big old knot. He's got that big old shiny knot. That's hilarious.
Even when he's got a twin brother, he's got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Double Impact, Chad and Alex. My favorite line of that is, you of all people should know, never in my life would I wear black silk underwear. So my favorite. Yeah.
I could do the splits, no problem.
No problem. Yeah, and it's so funny, dude. And it's so creepy when he says it like that. You're like, oh God. And he's like straight into it. All the girls are loving it, and he's in his pink pants, and then old buddy comes in with the pink karate gi, remember, by the way, which is interesting. Yeah. The British guy with the pink karate gi. That always threw me off. Anyways, getting off track, as always, I do that. But rest in peace, Michael K. Williams. That's a terrible tragedy, man. Way too young, and just goes to show you, man, those drugs can get you. You know, they can get you. Which kind of is lead me into sort of the next topic I wanted to talk about, and it was mainly because Jackass. Do you guys watch the Jackass stuff over there? All right, so. Did you watch it back in the day when it was like an MTV phenomenon before the movies got big? Okay. So you remember when it was these guys, you know, you remember when Bam was a kid, Steve-O was young, Johnny Knoxville, they were all young. I love that Farrah Fawcett shirt that Johnny Knoxville has on.
I love the TV show.
Oh, it was great, dude. If not anything, I think the TV show might've been a little better. The only thing that was better about the movies is that they could do R-rated stuff. You know what I mean? But the TV show, I think, captured some funnier stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we had I don't know if you got it over in America, Dirty Sanchez, with the Welsh guy.
Oh yeah. That
was our answer to it. But they were never as good as these guys. These are the originals.
The first film I saw, though, Dirty Sanchez, was pretty damn good.
Yeah,
I mean, they were holding their own there. It's just they don't have the longevity and the catalog that the Jackass guys have. I mean, this is what they've been doing with their entire lives. You know what I mean?
I still listen to the Party Boy music in my car.
Oh, dude, it's so
terribly good.
It's so terribly good and cheesy and gets you pumped up and funny all at the same time.
Ready for the party, bro? You ready for the party, bro?
And he's on. It's so funny, man. And I love Pontius, and I love all those guys. I loved when Viva La Bam was a show. I loved Wild Boys. I loved it all. And you see them now today, and honestly, they look great. Ewan Aaron McGahee, or however you say it, he's not in this picture, but like Steve-O, looking good. Johnny, the only thing really. Johnny's just older, and he's got some gray hair now, but he was already older than them. Yeah. But Pontius still looks good. Like I said, Dave England looks good. Preston Lacey looks all right. And this is just showing some of them. And mainly because they've all gotten sober. They've straightened their lives out. They've gotten a purpose, and they've all realized that, hey, it's worth that chapter of our lives. While it is a part of our past, it needs to be closed. You know what I mean?
It was a massive like shock with Steve-O, because he was dating somebody from our country. who had been on a talent show, and you would never have put them together. I mean, they're not together now. She's moved on, but I remember them dating. And it was like, this is kind of crazy. Like, what's going on? Steve was dating this girl. Like, she seemed like an angel.
Was
You
it
know what
when
I mean?
he was? Was it when he was all on drugs and stuff, or was it after
I
that?
can't remember. I can't remember. I can't even remember how long ago it was in the last 10 years.
Because once he got cleaned up, man, while you know everybody's always going to have the hardships of that life can deal you, no matter how successful you are. Sometimes life just treats you and sends you a bad card. But it is clear for most people when they straighten their lives out, things start going better for them. And for Steve O, outside of the occasional arm break and all this stuff that he's doing crazy stuff anyways, because he's been sober, his life has gone in a way better direction and he's happy. You can tell, you can see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
Like
think
you
Steve,
look at this picture, he looks happy in the background.
yeah, he does. Like, will he still do crazy things? We will see.
Well, in the preview, it looks funny, but the reason I'm bringing all this up and we're talking about drugs getting the best of you, like with Michael K. Williams, is because, you know, Bam is not in this movie.
So he's still on drugs?
Yeah. Did you not know that Bam's not in this new one?
No, I didn't know that. I know that he was like a heartthrob to a lot of women.
Dude, like I said, back then, this was him, and this is him now.
Whoa.
And this is him. He was on the Dr. Phil show, which I don't know if you know the Dr. Phil show over here, but it's a show where it is something that's entertaining to watch because of the ways that certain people will behave on there. But Dr. Phil is a guy that has a real background, and they ultimately do try to help people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not like Jerry Springer where it's
where you just a guest
just to get outrageous.
Yeah.
This does have an entertainment value, and some of the people that come on there will get out of hand, and so therefore it inherently becomes entertaining. But at its core, they are trying to help people. They really are.
Is Bam like? Does he still have a relationship with his parents?
I don't know.
They were involved with the show too.
Well, you know, Uncle Vito. You know the guy on the they would always put the subtitles below. He died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he already died from a heart attack, and they're worried that his dad would died. But now, Bam, because of the drugs and everything like that. I mean, if you can watch the new Jackass trailer. He's not in any scenes, and it's because I talked about this on one of my past shows, but this is before you and I were you were on the show. He's suing Jeff Tremaine, and he's suing Johnny Knoxville, and he's suing Paramount Jackass. Because Jeff
being involved,
because they wouldn't let him be involved. They didn't let him be in part of the movie. But it wasn't that they didn't invite him. It wasn't they didn't give him the opportunity. He refused to get his life together. And one of the regulations now with the Jackass crew is it's like get jacked up, get drunk, get high, and let's go do some stunts. Now you got to pass a drug test.
Right. Okay. So like Edward Furlong, it's like, nah, man.
It was that same type of deal. And it had nothing to do with them being like, you're ruining our image. It's all about them. Johnny Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine was like, I can't believe he's suing us, but he's suing him out of desperation and all this anger, but it's because of this drug fueled mentality. You know what I mean? Johnny's like, look, I love him, man. He's like, I want him to get better. That's it. It's like, we don't need to be having that around and being conducive to someone that's sneaky and drinking. It's like, no, we have to put our feet down on the ground now and be like, this is how it is. And that's that tough loving part of addiction. Addiction gets to those points. It really does, to where
I know it's completely different, but it kind of reminds me of Dolph Lundgren's character in Expendables 1. It's like they love him and they respect him.
No, I don't think it's different at all. I think it's exactly the same. One's just real life and one's a character. But I mean, it is the same example. They're really worried about the guy, and he's starting to turn on his own friends because of it.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Jack Black in Tropic Thunder when they tie him to the tree.
Yeah. Desperate, doing whatever.
Yeah.
What did he say? Drink the gravy.
Swallow the gravy.
Mm-hmm.
What a line.
So it's just a tragedy to me, man, that like all this is happening because of it. But one of the things that I really wanted to bring up in this whole deal is that we just got a report on how much their medical bills have been.
Go on.
Because of the movies. All right.
Yeah.
So right now, the Jackass crew have apparently racked up $24 million in injuries over their careers. Now, with Johnny, and they don't mention Bam in any of these, and that's kind of why I went on that Bam tangent for a second there and mentioned why he's just not any of this, because I'm sure his medical bills are just as high, if not higher, than any of them. Yeah. But the three main people that people are familiar with is going to be Steve-O, Johnny, and then Aaron McGehee. And you know him. He's the one that like has the missing tooth. Yeah. They pick on him a lot.
Yeah, I know the one. In the snow and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Knoxville came out on top with an estimated $8.66 million in medical bills over the years.
But this is what he has to pay.
No, this is part of their insurance deal. They're just tallying it up. This is this is how much money they've spent because they've gotten injured on the set for these guys.
That's crazy.
Aaron McGehee, 7.38, and then Steve-O with 5.82. Steve-O, I guess, is just a squirrely, lucky, crazy MFer, you know, whereas the other guys, like, you know, Johnny's gotten seriously hurt. Johnny broke his dick. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. That's
yeah, when they were filming Jackass 3, they didn't show this stunt in the film because they didn't make it, but he was trying to do a backflip on a motocross bike, and he was going up the dirt ramp and everything, and then he was flipping over, and he was landing wrong, and he was trying to land this backflip. You know, somebody that doesn't know anything about motocross, it's a heavy bike. Well, at one point the bike lands straight on him. The handlebars like punctured through like his abdomen crotch area and broke his dick.
I'm amazed none of them have died during the filming.
Yeah, me too. You know,
and I'm amazed that it got made. Like nobody else could touch it in America. Why was that a thing? It was like, you know, these are trained professionals, but was they really? They were just crazy guys. It's like nobody else could get a look in.
They were trained professionals in the sense that this truly was what they did with their lives. So, and the fact that a lot of them were skaters, I think that they could take a fall better, you know, but that's another thing, dude. Bam, not only is he just washing away these relationships, and I don't think that, I think he still has an opportunity to get straight.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be forgiven. I think there's way too thick of a bond between those guys to just wash him out. Oh, see ya. No, I think that they're doing tough loving right now. But I also, you know, think that he needs to, if he doesn't get it together, he's either going to die.
Yeah.
Bam will. And he's also, if he doesn't get it together, he's not only losing this thing with Jackass, but man, he can't skate right now. He's in no shape to skateboard. And we're talking about somebody who was skating with Tony Hawk.
Yeah. I mean, he was on the video game and everything.
On a bunch of the video games, but he was on the actual Tony Hawk tours and stuff. I mean, it's like, it's just a shame. And I wish him the best. I'm not trying to get all up on it. Just to show you, man, between that, Michael K. Williams dying, other people, that addiction, it can get you, man.
The dangers of drugs.
And not to sound like those guys, but we are sounding like them. We're cool. We're cool dudes. It's just, you got to watch out. You want to be around forever. That's reason Tom Cruise is still around doing what he's doing is because drugs never got a hold of him. He didn't allow it. Now he might be crazy on other things. Scientology and all that. But anyways, moving on. So this is something real quick, just a quick little toucher here. They just released this bad boy. And they did it yesterday, but I didn't see it until today. But we got the new Aquaman picture. What do you think about that?
I'm happy with that. It's more realistically, you're going to bring a character like that into our world. I'm happy with it. Like I get it with the scale. The last one he was wearing in the last film, but that to me is what somebody would wear. You know, I can believe in that suit. What do you think?
I think it looks good. I do have to say it slightly reminds me a little bit of the Ocean Master's suit, just without a cape and not purple and all that. But it looks less Aquaman-y. It looks a little more generic to me, to be honest.
I agree. Like when you loaded it up, I was thinking that reminds me of like Wolverine or just something like Batman. It could be, you know, you add a cape to that and a bat symbol.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe it. I believe in that suit. I believe that is something he would wear.
And yeah, like you said, but what about what he was wearing, like in the Zack? Like I like the Zack Snyder stuff better than this.
Do you have a picture of that?
I don't, and I could get a picture of it real quick though. I think the Zack Snyder stuff. And I've said this, while he's sort of going off the deep end, in my opinion, I don't think that he had a bad idea with the Justice League stuff, and I do think that his Aquaman was the best looking, personally.
Yeah, I just felt like they all had the same tailor in Justice League.
I mean, there was that for sure.
Yeah, like the Flash's suit was very like you could see the angles, and it just felt very much like the same person had designed them all.
So here we go. This is I'll just bring this picture up real fast and then this is definitely a huge difference just in tone completely. Uh-oh, I hit the wrong thing. Sorry. This is again.
But most people's complaints with Aquaman, the first one, is it was too colorful. So it sounds like the director's listening.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know though. I mean, do you really think that he's just going to drop the color schemes, James Wan?
I don't know. I mean, the suit, will that suit look good if he keeps it all neon and bright and looking like a casino underneath water? I like that. Yeah, that's okay.
See, to me, that just, I think that there's something that's cooler about that. I mean, I get that there's no armor and all that, but isn't he super tough anyways, you know? So.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, is he only going to wear the one suit in the movie?
That's what I was going to say. Is this suit,
special ops?
Yeah, exactly. Like a mission suit or something like that. Is it an armor suit or something? Is it? So who knows? I think that same thing with the Batman. When the Batman comes out, we're going to see different suits. I don't think we're just going to see one specific little suit because he's got some weird. I just feel like we're going to have some progressions personally. Yeah. I think Warner Brothers knows that they need to do that to sell some toys.
yeah. Get a few of those out there.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Spider-Man movies. We got like 3 suits in every Spider-Man movie now.
Yeah, that's true.
It just happens. But anyways, I didn't know that it happened. This was yesterday release, and I just didn't get on at all because I was hanging out with the family and stuff. So yeah, well, this is
special day yesterday. Yeah, you're not going to see everything, but yeah, that's the first time I've seen it. I don't have a massive interest in Aquaman, but I do more so when he wears an outfit like that. Just for me, it makes me want to watch it more than the original one.
And look, I liked the original. I thought the original was better than I expected to be, and I've turned out to like it even more and more over time. So I am curious to see about the sequel. A lot of times sequels tend to be, a little bit better, but then sometimes it's the first of many bad ones, So we'll see on that. But speaking of sequels, though, this would happen about an hour before the show, and I couldn't change anything up on the thumbnail. But Matrix 4 trailer comes out Thursday.
1 second, my phone's trying to update. Okay. Wait, say that again.
Matrix 4 trailer comes out Thursday.
Is that Keanu underneath that? Yeah,
that's somebody that's done sort of a digitized area of it. Now that's a fake deal. So look, my buddy Brian right here, I think that this is him. I haven't even looked at the comment to see if it's him, but I guarantee you it's probably him because he loves the Matrix and he's probably excited. Let's see. Oh yeah, look. I knew it. So
I'm not going to say anything.
No, say what you feel, man. Say what you feel. Don't hold back anything. I want you to say what you feel.
Why would anyone be excited for this? It's a wrapped up trilogy. It's just like the first one's amazing. That's it. Like, I just don't get it. What more do you want from this franchise? Like, it's done.
Now, look, you know that I like 2 and 3. I just don't think they're as good as 1.
Yeah.
I also don't think there was necessarily a reason outside of let's make this franchise huge to make a sequel to the first one. However, that's also me contradicting myself. I do see a reason to make a sequel to something like that because of how successful it was. You know what I mean? Like, I think if even I was a producer, I would have been like, all right, let's make some sequels. I just don't think the sequels can hold up to what the first one were. The sequels seem their own thing compared to the first one.
Yeah.
And I like what their own thing was. It went a little further out there than I wanted it to, but I don't hate them. But I don't see the necessity of their place in the massive whole thing of the first storyline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it just felt to me like the original directors, or sorry, the same directors, but the original, they was wrapping it up themselves, and that was it. And they put a bow on the end of it. And now it feels like, oh, well, we want to make this present a little bit bigger.
And that's what I'm really worried about, because
It feels like a cash grab.
And ultimately, I'm cool. Oh, it does. And ultimately, I'm cool with the trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, even though 2 and 3 don't hold up to the first one for me, as like I would have wanted them to, I'm still satisfied with that trilogy, because there is a story. They're trying to keep it all in this main thing. But this one, it's like, all right, so everything you were saying, now there's something else. It's like, what, didn't he die? But then, of course, everybody's argument is, but it's the Matrix. They can reboot and all this stuff. And I get that.
Is that what's the answer with that then? Is it like they've got the DNA and they just keep rebreeding them? Like,
you know, I've got a little article.
Him, he's a problem for the Matrix. I don't understand why they would bring Neo back. Like, clearly he could destroy it if he really wanted to, but he made a deal with them, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, so all I know is the only thing, Lana Wachowski is directing it. And that's all we really know. And we've heard that they're waking up with amnesia.
Like, I'm already bored.
It's so funny, dude. You said, like, as soon as I said that the last time we talked about it, your first response was that exact statement. I'm already bored.
Yeah. What is it? 16 years or something? 17? I don't even know how many years it's been.
This is the first Matrix, or so since the last one. I was about to say no.
Since the last one, yeah. This is the best you can come up with. Like I said to you with Superman Returns, the reason it's one of the worst is because they had 20 years to make it, and they wake up with amnesia. We'll see after the trailer. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it blows me away.
It's that, Matt, you and I have talked about this. It's like there's two ways kind of about when it's a movie franchise. Like when it's something that you've never seen before and you've never heard of it, and all of a sudden it's coming out. Most of the time, the trailer doesn't even have to be all that great for you to be interested, as long as the concept was sort of just like, oh, what is this? But if it's a sequel coming out to something that you already have this deep love for or massive fan base for, the movie, it then becomes, instead of being, what's that? It's either, oh, I can't wait to see this, or I hope it's good. You know, and that's what it's either one of those two ways. Like I said, with Spider-Man No Way Home, it's not a matter of, I hope it's going to be good. It's like, man, I wonder how badass this is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not worried about that being a bad movie. Whereas like Spider-Man 3, it turned out to be kind of bad.
Is there any photos of Carrie-Anne Moss like now in the movie?
They're showing a couple things of her and him on a motorcycle, but nothing that I could find that's clear. And it's all like behind the scenes, like nothing they're not really leaking anything. There's nothing of him either.
Do they expect youngsters to go and see this? Like 18, 19-year-olds? Like,
I don't know.
People in the 50s and 60s as the main, heroes.
Well, let me ask
Hollywood's like this.
Brian, if you're listening right now or watching, and I mean, I know you were earlier, but if you're watching right now, does River is his son, does River and his friends, and I know River probably likes the Matrix because you've introduced him to it, but do like his friends, do they know that? See, Brian already said, he's like, my kid will see it. So do they know? Does all of his friends know all that stuff? He says 100%, all of them know it. So, I mean, there's probably, a market out there, a younger market. Look, you and I both are going to see it day one, especially since it's on HBO Max. Are you not going to see it day one?
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
So they're not even releasing it in theaters.
Supposed to be this year. I mean, yeah, both. They're supposed to be, according to Warner Brothers, they are, but Warner Brothers has not. Warner Brothers
gets a theatrical release.
Well, they did take Dune back, and just only theatrical, I'm pretty sure. But this whole year, everything that's Warner Brothers theatrical releases, they're putting out on HBO Max. They're doing the dual release. Did you not know that at all?
Well, I kind of did, but I didn't realize Matrix was coming out this early.
Like Suicide Squad did the same thing. Yeah, Matrix is supposed to be this year, from what I understand.
But all these movies, and they're not like kind of bombing a little bit because of it.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not making the money. Like, why are they doing this? I know they've made the deals already, but it's like, whoa.
Well, it's like Mission Impossible 7 and Top Gun 2. They had to push those back, both of them. And from what I've understood, there's a guy that I listened to, he saw some footage at CinemaCon that he went to where they showed like literally like 13 minutes straight of like they showed the opening sequence of Top Gun 2, of Top Gun Maverick. And this is some guy that was just like, look, I wasn't fully all excited about this. He's like, but I fully understand why they're not releasing it right now during Delta. He's like, because this is a AAA badass blockbuster film. He's like, and it ain't time to do it right now when nobody's going to go to the theater. But
when is this going to be released? Matrix on HBO?
I'm not sure exactly. Brian might know that, but I can look it up right now. Let's see. Matrix release.
I feel like I need to make a final trailer.
Yeah, you guys should go check out the Halloween Kills final trailer.
Check out the Ghostbusters one.
Yeah, dude. So it's apparently like the weekend after Spider-Man, or maybe even the same one. But yeah, December 22nd. Yeah, oh, there Brian goes right there. He just put it up. Brian just put it up. December 22nd. So
yeah,
I should know that, and I knew it was this year, but honestly, my brain's getting clogged.
Is Delta expecting to get worse before it gets better?
No, because now they just released that there's another variant that's coming out that we got to worry about that's even stronger than Delta. So that's, yeah, I know it ain't changing for sure. But as of right now, we're still talking about movies, and I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm still acting like everything's just rolling.
Except for Venom, except for the Venom delay.
Well, but check this out.
Can't ignore it. Yeah.
They moved it back up. They moved Venom to October 1st.
Really?
It was moved back to October 15th, but they moved it to October 1st. There was rumors that it was going to be moved to next year, but that got squashed. They confirmed it. It was going to be October 15th. And as of yesterday, they just pulled out that it's going to be actually, in fact, like right here, I've got it said that it was recently supposed to be June 21, then pushed back to September, most recently to October 15th. And now they just released that it will be released on October 1st. So there you go, man. Venom, let there be carnage.
What's your predictions?
Is as far as how much it's going to make, or will it be pushed back?
Yeah.
I think it'll make a lot of money. To be honest, though, I really think it depends on the variants and what's going on with those right now. I mean, it depends on how bad it gets, but at the same time, people don't seem to be caring a whole lot. I mean, it's getting bad over here. Hospitals are completely filled up, but people are still going out and doing stuff. I mean, I think it's going to do well for sure. But right now, I can't make any predictions because you just don't know. You really just don't know.
The only reason I'm bringing it up is because I look at the data from the UK, and then I look at it at USA, and you're in a completely different stage to what we're at. So this is why I wonder with movies, because like Suicide Squad, did that get released in theaters as well?
Theaters and HBO Max, and it did terrible. But they've realized now the hybrid release doesn't work. The hybrid release makes you no money. At least on Disney Premiere Plus, you had to pay $30 extra for it, whereas HBO Max, it just comes with the subscription.
Yeah, I mean, it's gold that you can get that with the subscription. But for them, it's not. You know, for the viewer, it's brilliant because you can. Well,
now they're just to the point. Now they're just to the point that they have to keep their word. Warner Brothers. I mean, if they could just take it all back, they would. But I mean, they released a full-on massive trailer, all movies on HBO Max in 2020. You know what I mean? Like they sold it.
Yeah, another mistake by Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, they've admitted they've made a mistake. They've totally admitted it. And like we've talked about with Sony doesn't have a lot to bank on. And I think that at this point, they might be realizing that this flip-flop, we might need to just commit to something. And
I think that they've done this to maximize the money for Venom and then straight away for Ghostbusters. That's what it feels like.
Well, I think because now October's turning out to be a packed month for like, it's turning out to be bigger than any summer month so far.
Yeah. I've noticed
October's got No Time to Die. It's got Ghostbusters. It's got Venom. What else just came out that's coming out? Halloween Kills. I mean, and then November is going to be pretty stacked, but then December is going to be stacked. And so, I mean, Eternals is coming out in November. So, I mean, it's like this summer has been sort of prolonged / doubled up procrastinated.
Yeah.
But so I think that at this point they have to do it, and they know that they don't want to compete with all these other things. But now Shang-Chi, excuse me, just came out, and then that one just dominated, dude. And when I say dominated, like it did really good.
My interest in this movie is growing.
So far as to where it broke Labor Day weekends, pre-pandemic Labor Day weekends, with a 90 million, actually 94 total.
Right.
I mean, during a pandemic, that's amazing. But you know what it beat out?
Go on.
Rob Zombie's Halloween. So prior to this, Rob Zombie's Halloween was the opening day record holder for Labor Day weekend.
Right.
And at 30 something million, like right at 30 million. So Shang-Chi tripled it.
So in general, I don't know much about Labor Day. Is that like a big deal to go to the theaters?
Yeah, it's a big holiday here. And it is any day that's a day to where the people are off for the actual day during the week tends to just be a bigger theater day, no matter what. But especially like Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, believe it or not, is a big movie day. Thanksgiving night is a big movie day. It's just people have been with their families and stuff like that. And it's sort of this, universal thing that we can all still enjoy together, but all shut up and not have to listen to each other for a little while, And so those have become big. 4th of July is movie days. So like any day that we have off from the normal week work day through Monday and Friday that we're actually nobody's open or kids are off of school, that type of stuff, movie day. I mean, it's just, they're not saying that everybody just does that. It is just way more of the theaters will be busier.
Yeah. Yeah. Boxing Day over here. We have it.
What's it? Boxing Day?
Yeah. Do you not call it that?
No, for like the box office?
No, it's the day after Christmas. I don't know what it means, but it's called Boxing Day. So the 26th of December. And that is when No Way Home is released in Australia. So they get it later than us.
That's interesting you're saying that, because that kind of leads me into something else I wanted to talk about. And this isn't a hot topic, but you and I both watched Tomorrow War.
Yep.
And we both agreed that it's good. It's like, it's on its way to becoming a blockbuster style. Like Amazon's on their way to becoming a blockbuster style movie, right?
Yep.
They just hadn't, like, it wasn't bad, but they released it overseas for a weekend in China, and it made 8 million over the weekend, which is not good.
It's a movie that you should watch at home.
Well, I think
it's not big enough.
It's proof it's not big enough right there, because Free Guy is dominating overseas, making a ton of like almost at 100 million overseas.
For some reason I have no interest in that. I don't know why.
It's good. I'd recommend watching it. Is it
like Ryan Reynolds PG?
Pretty much. I mean, that's a great way to describe it. It's a Ryan Reynolds movie, and it has a cool kind of fun premise. It's got some moments that are endearing here and there, but it's not like a movie that's going to be, that turns into something that's like, wow, that guy, how like Pixar movies, by the end of them, you're just like, I did not expect to feel this emotional. It doesn't quite get there like that. I mean, but it is really fun. It's well made. It's already sequel in the talks for that. But anyways, I just thought it was interesting because there are all these other movies going overseas like that. And it's funny they're doing Spider-Man afterwards and not before. But I think at this point, everything's so cram-packed that they're worried that it's going to get leaked or something if it gets released somehow overseas.
I think that with all these movies that are coming out, Spider-Man can sit back and watch whilst everyone's putting the toe in the water.
And Matrix.
If they need to delay it, they may do. We don't know. So I think that's the one everybody's waiting for now.
I think, and I'm not going to be, I'm just going to say it. I think that Spider-Man still has the potential to maybe not reach 1 billion, but I bet it can. I bet it can get up to 500, 600 million in the theaters.
I agree.
During the pandemic.
Yeah, because look how excited we were when it first came out, the trailer.
Well, the 24-hour trailer watch, that was already proof. It's like, people might not be into the movies in the theaters like they were, but they still are with this movie.
Yeah, it's just got something about it, and it's because they're bringing the old cast members back. No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a marketing tool they're using, no question. But I mean, it's working for me. It's got me pumped up. However, it being an MCU film, I'm I'm confident they're still going to make something good with it. They're not just going to be like, all right, let's do this. They're going to be like, all right, let's do it. How can we make it badass?
Yeah.
You know? So I'm always confident, especially after seeing Shang-Chi, dude. Shang-Chi, I'm going to talk about that for a second, man. My buddy Clint and I saw that, which much love, Clint. Love you with all my heart. We've actually gotten to we see a lot of movies together, and we've seen a lot of the Marvel movies together. But man, it was great, dude. A plus. I don't have any complaints. It was one
I
of those
enjoyed
movies.
I watched your review on it, and you didn't give anything away except for positive review.
Yeah,
Much.
and
everybody I'm seeing or hearing it from or reading about, there's nothing negative about it.
There's just nothing negative to be said because they just got it. They just all the cylinders were firing properly, man. The character's good, the development's good. One of my favorite things is, like I was saying, was Aquafina, her comic relief. I just like it when it seems like something that somebody would naturally say, not that it's like, hey, put this line in because it's people are being like, when people are like, oh no, you didn't. Like, how many times am I going to hear that in a movie? Or, they didn't do that in this. And
it depends how many times you watch Ghostbusters 2016, because that's what you just reminded me of.
I don't watch that movie, sir.
Yeah, I was the last person to watch that.
that is a travesty.
I don't know why I rewatched it.
Hey, which, by the way, Ghostbusters Reactions, they showed a full screening at CinemaCon, the full movie.
It's had positive, hasn't it?
Everybody says it's great. Everybody says it's awesome. Everybody's like,
a lot of people I'm seeing on Facebook are dogging it down, especially the older guys like us. Oh, I don't want to see a film with kids in it, but if it's getting good screen, like reviews, I'll watch it.
Yeah. What do you really want to see Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and all those dudes running around?
There was rumors years ago that like Owen Wilson, Ben Stiller was going to take it over, and in a way I kind of wanted that, but I've not seen this film, so I'm not going to dog on it. I love Ghostbusters,
but I think this movie looks really good, honestly, man. And I like the idea of it logically being, when there's people like Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson who are hot commodities at the time, and they were a duo, and of course, Vince Vaughn would have shown up at some point.
Of course he would, yeah.
Which I love all those guys, but to me that already just reeks of gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, I like the idea that's like the only thing that's slightly gimmicky at all about this is the fact that you have Paul Rudd in it and Finn Wolfhard, and both of those guys are just hot actors, but they're great actors. Yeah. So they belong to be in a good movie like this. I'm very happy with the direction they're going with it. I didn't want to see, you had to do something different with it. From what I understand, it is way more heartfelt and dramatic than, that lighthearted tone kind of existed over the first two the whole time.
Will it feel disjointed though, with it being children? Like, because a lot of people will love it for the comedy, the adult kind of comedy. Like,
well, remember Paul Rudd's in it, and there are adults in this film. I don't think it's just about kids. I just think that they are main characters of the film. But I mean, I think it's still adult situations. I think that, Dan Aykroyd's voice is in the trailer, but I'm expected to be very pleased with it.
Yeah. At least they're not just copying like what the woman version, where it was just rehashing, but badly.
It was like it felt like a satire. It was stupid. It felt like you're like not treating this respectfully.
Yeah.
But like I said, Shang-Chi had everything you wanted in it, and I definitely am excited that it's dominating like it was, and I hope that Ghostbusters does the same thing, and I think it will. I think that two movies like that are really. It's been a while since I've had that like summer blockbuster feel in the movie. Yeah, while I loved Quiet Place too, but that's a horror-esque film. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these movies I've enjoyed.
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise was good. I had a good time with it, but I wasn't like. But by the time you're done with Shang-Chi, I was pumped up, I was ready, and I'm hoping that we're getting all the rest of that, and that Ghostbusters will not only scratch that nostalgic itch, but it'll also be badass.
Well, it'll bring a little bit of warmth to the worst months of the year. I hate the winter, and I think with all these films coming out, do you know
how bad does it get over there? Does it get really cold?
It's bad. It's bad. And today, it's warm. It's really warm today. Like, we've had a heat wave. I think it finishes tomorrow. So tomorrow, that'll be the last day of it, and then we've got bad weather to look forward to all the way till March. So it's like,
I heard this comedian one time talking about living over. He was just like, yeah, being over here. He's like the gray skies and the cold weather and even the beaches. He's like, can't even have fun there. He's like, I'm just gonna go out on the beach and lay on the gravel.
yep, that's what it's like.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, we do have sandy beaches, but you've got to drive to them. You know,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, and we've got gravel beaches too. You know, they just don't show them a lot in the movies.
Yeah.
But
So,
anyways,
yeah, all these movies, it will warm up the months, you know, bring a lot of joy to people.
Do you think that with Shang-Chi making 94 million in the box office, no hybrid release, no no Disney Premiere Plus, only theatrical release, do you think that that's going to do the same thing with Eternals? Because they didn't confirm that they were going to do it. They said, we're going to experiment with Shang-Chi and only do a theatrical release for right now and see how that does. Now, because of them making 94, do you think they're going to still do that with Eternals with the new variants and all that? Because we still got over a month away for this movie.
I believe that Eternals will do worse than Shang-Chi because it's the first Asian superhero that has got his own film. With Eternals, it's more of the same, but with that, there was something different. So I think Shang-Chi will outdo that movie.
I'm hoping you're wrong. I'm hoping you're wrong because I am more excited about Eternals because of the depth and the characters and the gravity of the story. I just know about them. Don't get me wrong. Shang-Chi was awesome. They did a great job with it. There's just more to work with in the Eternal story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it is more cosmic. It's all that. But with that being said, Shang-Chi was extremely fictitious and mythological at moments. Like I said, and you see it in the trailer, but there's dragons in this movie.
Yeah, I've seen some of it. And it could do Eternals might do what Guardians of the Galaxy, but to the average Joe, if you've not read a comic, I can't see Eternals being like, oh, let's go and see that.
I think it has. Sorry.
Over here, maybe. Over here, I don't know about in America, but I don't know anybody who's come for Eternals.
Again, 20 years. Did you know who Thanos was? 20 years ago.
No.
I did, but it's also I read the comics.
But they built him up perfectly.
They did build him up perfectly. Now, like I said, they've mentioned Thanos' name in this newest trailer of Eternals. So what if something happens in this movie to where the word of mouth all of a sudden, like the core fans that do see it are like, holy shit, everybody, y'all have to see this movie. You're not going to believe what happens in it for the MCU. I mean, could it have, let's say it doesn't do box office breaking success in the beginning. Could it be one of those movies that snowballs and makes more in its fourth weekend than it did in the opening weekend?
I think if people, you know, because of the pandemic and everything, if people have got less money in their pockets, some people, you know, will have, or they're paying off debts. They have to make a choice here of which they're going to see. And I think because of all the other big sequels like Venom, I don't think this will affect Eternals, but the Bond movie, it could affect it. And people might just be saving it up for No Way Home. You know, I don't know how much expendable cash people have. But if you've got a family of 5, like you said, and you're spending like $100.
No, that's a valid point, man. I mean,
yeah, it's like you've got to make a choice. Like, can you see them all? I don't know if you've got a big family, and that's a film that could be entertaining for kids. So you've got to take your kids with you. I don't know if it'll work. I hope it does. I don't want to see any film bomb.
Of course, none of us do, especially if it's worth being made and it's good. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the track of success for Eternals is. Is it one of those movies that doesn't even do all that great in the theaters, and then people finally watch it when it's released on Disney Plus, and they're like, oh, or are you going to find out from other people that you have to know what happens in Eternals to really get what happens in No Way Home?
If they were smart, which they are, hopefully they do that and somehow tie it in either with an end scene or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, what's funny about Marvel is while they do tie everything in and they do a good job of it, a lot of times they don't do it when I think they're going to do it, and they don't do it the way I think they're going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Which is good for you, right?
Yeah, it's good, but it's sometimes I'm like, sometimes they even brush over it a little bit too much to where they don't make it significant enough. I think there's a couple of moments here and there they'll do things like that. One of my biggest things that I didn't care for was the development of Photon is one of her names, or Sonar is one of her name, or Pulsar, but the Monica Rambeau character in WandaVision. I didn't like the way her power thing just sort of came about, and I don't feel like I got enough origin story, but now she's a character with powers. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
That was one little complaint.
It was forgettable the way she got it. And I think they needed to, especially with her and a lot of people, because people are 50-50 with Captain Marvel. I think what they should have done, like you said, is given her some origin story and get people interested in people who are related to Captain Marvel, you know, be an all-round thing. But yeah, it was kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah, and she is a major character, and I get that, but I wish, you know, she refers to things in there like, you know, la 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 la, but we won't talk about it. Or Captain, you know, she had the chance to do this. Like, there's a reference to her being pissed at Carol Danvers.
Yeah,
you know, and so like I wish we would know more about that.
Again? Why did she have powers like in WandaVision?
She was able to somehow or another cross through the barrier, but it happened all while it was like a catalyst type thing where something else was happening while the barrier was expanding, and somehow or another she went through it and got the powers. It was just a little, could have been better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But in Shang-Chi, it doesn't do that. Shang-Chi, the origin's really good. You get a really deep-rooted idea of who these people are, why it exists. There is connection to other films, which is cool. I'm not gonna put any spoilers in this review because it's still kind of or in this talk, but I did tell you the person that's in it that you wanted to be in it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
They have an actual significant role in the film too, which is pretty cool as well.
Good.
And Eternals, Kevin Feige is preaching Eternals right now. He's still saying it's the best thing that Marvel has ever produced. He's like, we're still amazed at what we have on our hands, directed by Chloe Zhao, who's already an Oscar-winning director. So I think that there's something there with Eternals. It's just a matter of, like you said, if the people care enough about it initially.
Has Kevin Feige ever, you know, like tried to raise the bar with it and it's not really worked? You know, like does he do this for every movie? You know, like.
Well, he didn't pump up Shang-Chi a whole lot. He did advertise it a while back, but like this entire year, Shang-Chi has just been having TV spots and things like that, and it's had its trailers for sure. But when Kevin Feige is doing interviews, he's consistently bringing up Eternals. Consistently.
I think that's deliberate, if I'm honest, because not many people know they are.
Yeah, and that's it might be exactly what you're saying, that it's because of that. But
it just feels like Guardians of the Galaxy to me again. Like,
but Iron Man, but those guys were nothing before they got the movies. Now everybody loves them. People are Star-Lord for Halloween, Drax for Halloween. Iron Man was only a comic book lover's name. It wasn't a household name. Now it is. Thor and Captain America. Captain America maybe, Thor maybe, but not like they are now. Now they're on serial, you know. So I just say give it time for the movie to prove itself. Now, if the movie turns out to be shit, then well, there we go. It's probably not going to go.
I can't see it being shit.
I don't think. I can see Kevin's too excited about it, man. He's too excited. And also too, let's not forget about the cast, dude. I mean, we're talking a pretty solid cast here, man.
I don't like that Game of Thrones guy at the front.
You don't like him? I love him. Rob Hedden.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I like him. And also, you know, Jon Snow's in it.
Oh man, another one. Can't stand him.
I love him. Salma Hayek's in it, but Angelina Jolie's in it. Kumail Nanjiani. I mean, it's just got a lot of A-listers that aren't the main characters, but that's the thing. I don't think that this is a main single role character film. This is focusing on these people who are a unit. And in the comics, the Celestials are responsible for bringing in the mutant gene. Which is it wasn't always
X-Men.
Maybe it wasn't always that way in the comic books, but the comic books always will continually write a new story that changes something from the past. It's
there's a new generation born every day,
or uncovers something that was always there that you never know, just to write a new story. You know what I mean? So now at some point, what they did was made the Celestials responsible for bringing in the X gene, the mutant gene, Whereas used to, it was just sort of part of the fabric of humanity. There was also this other altered gene. Now they changed that to where the Celestials are responsible for introducing it. If that makes any sense. And so that's what's in the Eternals is the Celestials.
So if they bring in the mutant gene, do you not have to wait, say, 10 to 15 years before the mutants like start to grow? Or is this is set straight after Thanos, isn't it?
All of it, everything that's coming out right now is after Thanos. They mentioned the snap in Shang-Chi.
Right.
So everything right now is after Thanos, except for Black Widow. That was advertised as a prequel. So this, I think people are still in that post honeymoon phase of the snap. You know what I'm saying? And so the world is still slightly getting adjusted, not fully anymore, but still occasionally, it's still recent enough that it comes up in conversation.
Yeah. And so it should. Like, think about what he did.
Of course, yeah. I mean, in Shang-Chi, the way they actually bring it up, they're having a serious conversation, and she says, we live in a world now where half of the population can just disappear in a second. And so that's their little reference to it. I think that what they're going to do is either the mutant gene has been dominant or underlying and there, but just being secret the whole time, or they're going to introduce something with Eternals, the / multiverse thing, to where it manifests itself somehow.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But we need fully grown mutants if we want the X-Men.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So there's all kinds of theories that there's the Illuminati that's showing up in Doctor Strange too. And that's when we might see our first appearance of Charles Xavier. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there. And the Illuminati in the comic books is like a group of Strange, Namor, Charles Xavier, Tony Stark, Reed Richards. And they're like the guys who secretly get together to oversee everything because they're like the most powerful / smartest dudes in the universe. You know what I mean?
What's happening with Deadpool in the MCU?
He's coming in. They just don't. None of us know how. Like they're definitely. I mean, Kevin Feige's like, trust me, he's in here. I think what they'll probably do. My theory is that they'll have him. His own movies will still be 20th Century Studios films because that's what they renamed it. It's not 20th Century Fox. It's 20th Century Studios now. So like Free Guy's a 20th Century Studios film because that bled over from Fox. It still says a Walt Disney Motion Pictures company at the very bottom, but 20th Century Studios is the production company.
Yeah.
So I think that'll still be Deadpool. And when it's time to do a crossover movie where he jumps into a film of the MCU here and there, he might make a subtle little break the fourth wall comment, talk to the screen. But of course, nobody else, none of the Avengers or anybody can see that. That's just for the audience. And then it'll jump back in, and they might even go so far as to bleep his curse words and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they do allow some, don't they? They do allow some in the MCU.
Yeah, but it's just like anything else. PG-13, you can only say the F word once.
Right.
You can only say shit. Well, you can say that a bunch of times, but you can't just start saying it the whole time through. You can. If you have nudity, it has to be tasteful nudity and in a non-sexual way. And if you do have nudity, you can't have the F word. It's all these weird things.
Yeah.
But Deadpool was full of just vulgar stuff, dick and fart jokes, all that stuff. So I see that them having fun with the Deadpool character to play into the MCU when he needs to, but I still think we're going to see Deadpool films the way that we've seen them. We're going to see a Deadpool 3 R-rated under 20th Century Studios. I don't think we're going to get a PG-13 Deadpool. If we do, it'll be an appearance in a MCU film. You know what I mean?
That kind of makes sense. You know, it can still be fun without swearing and cursing.
Or he can even do the whole like, ooh, better watch my mouth around these, and he never says it again. You know what I mean? Like,
like the video game. I still enjoyed the video game. I don't think there's any cursing in that. Yeah.
I think there is a lot of cursing in that.
I can't remember.
I think there is, but I might be wrong. But anyways, man, that's honestly all I got. I got some more stuff I was going to get to, but that's all I really got today, man. So thanks for joining me. And also, Michael K. Williams, just one more time, rest in peace, buddy.
He reminds me of Idris on there.
A little bit. He's got a look about him like that, a little bit like Idris.
Yeah.
But well, hey, man, thank you so much again for joining me up. And hey, real quick, tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, just so you can find me on Esmaniac. I make crazy videos. I don't even know how to explain it, Bobby. What do I say about this? You tell them.
Well, you just make crazy videos, man. You do like deleted scenes, you do fake trailers, you do quizzes sometimes, but I like he has a Spider-Man Thanksgiving like holiday go get the cranberry sauce series you can check out.
Yeah.
It's just all funny stuff. It's all not to be taken seriously, all just to have fun with. And I think it's a lot of fun. So y'all check him out, Esmaniac. So, but hey, buddy, as always, man, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to show you this just so you can see. This was put out earlier before we got on the show. Check this out.
What's this? Ah,
just so we can end with it.
They're still going with that.
They're advertising the trailer with that right there. So, anyways, I thought you would appreciate that. But
yeah, no, I got it.
Hey, I'll talk to you soon, though, buddy. We'll talk to you later on. Thank you again.
Okay, man. See you later.
See ya. Well, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much. If you weren't able to comment in, definitely send me something to brassreelbobby@gmail.com. I'd love for you guys to send something in and just chat with me. I'll answer any questions or talk about any topics you want me to talk about. If you're confused about something, send it on in. I promise I'll talk about it. But with that being said, guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow at 1 p.m. And thank you so much. Love you with all my heart. Peace.